Welcome to our screencast for the final milestone of CSC 519 DevOps. The first thing we do is run our script, and our objective here today is to deploy a Jenkins server, and from the Jenkins server build checkbox and iTrust respectively, and deploy their services of the build passes. This is the first Ansible playbook that we run that will deploy Jenkins on the Jenkins server and all the dependencies that it has. So this runs for a while. So when our script stops running, we will have a Jenkins server deployed on EC2 instance on AWS. We can log into the AWS and check that our Jenkins SRV has been deployed. After this is done, what we'll do is we'll push a change to checkbox. So as you can see, the Jenkins is deployed. We go into the Jenkins instance, we type our admin name, password, and Jenkins opens up. Here we can see that two jobs have already been created. One is for checkbox and one is for iTrust. These jobs will get triggered if a change is pushed to any of the applications. Now we start by making a small change on checkbox and trying to push it to Git. As you can see, we add the change to Git and we try to commit it. Once we hit the commit, we need to push it, and here you can see we have set up a remote Git, and we push it to prod master. When we try to push it to prod master, our job gets triggered and job starts building. So here we can see all the tasks that we created have already started. For our checkbox, we have implemented Kubernetes cluster, and so as the job keeps building, the cube master and the cube slaves get built, and the checkboxes, we can see the checkbox running on all of them. Here for a while this job keeps going on. So what we've done here is spawned a Kubernetes cluster with one master and 3 slaves, and deployed the markdown to HTML function as a service using Docker containers. The Kubernetes master maintains the desired state of the service by ensuring that Kubernetes pods always run the service. So this is, as you can see, the build has succeeded, and we can see on our EC2 instance by refreshing that cube master and 3 of its cube slaves have been deployed already, and I'll show you how they're working. So now I'll log into the Kubernetes master. Here I SSH into the IP address of it. We give it the PEM file and log into it. So now we're into the Kubernetes master. So once we're in it, what we'll do is first thing is we'll get all the deployments that it has, and we see that checkbox has been deployed on it, and it has a load balancer, so it balances the load for us. So we get the services with this command, and as you can see, we have checkbox and Kubernetes to the load balancer, which is working there. And if we try to get the pods, so we'll write this command, and we can see that 3 pods have been deployed already. Now on the right side, we'll give a simple curl command to see if the microservice is up and running. We write the curl command, and it tells us to perform post on here, and we'll do that now. So now what we'll do is we'll copy the markdown text to make a post request. We copy the markdown code here, and we go to the postman and try to make a post request. As you can see, we JSON. We are using the master's IP colon 32,000/render, and as you can see, we got an output, and our microservices are up and running. Now for seeing if checkbox is deployed, we take the IP address of it and open it in a new tab, and once we hit enter, we can see our checkbox is deployed. And similarly for the canary release version of it, we copy the IP address and we go to a new tab, copy the IP address. On clicking enter, we'll find that a different version of a checkbox, which is checkbox canary release, as you can see here, is deployed. Now coming on to iTrust, we do the same thing. We we make a change to the iTrust on Jenkins, and we try to commit it and push it. And once we push, our job that we created should start building. Here we've already committed it, as you can see, and we've set up a remote, and we try to push it to prod master, and this, as we can see, has just triggered a build. We can go to the Jenkins server and check if our build has been started. Here you can see the iTrust build has been started, and we can see that all the tasks have started running for it. This will go on for a while. For iTrust, we have also included an infrastructure update of feature flags. We've deployed Redis on the Jenkins server and the final iTrust server, which helps set a feature flag that can turn on and off the feature of editing patients. So here this runs for a while. Once iTrust is successfully built on the Jenkins server, it is deployed on the EC2 instance. As you can see, it has succeeded in the post build, and now all we gotta do is go to our AWS EC2 instance and check if it has been spawned. As you can see, iTrust prod has been spawned, and the production server will run the iTrust service, and we can type in the IP of the prod and check if it's working on the port 8080, which iTrust runs on. Here you can see the smiling face of the doctor has shown up, and we can log in as an admin. Now for the demonstration of feature flags, I'm gonna go ahead and log in as HCP instead of admin. Here you can open any feature right now, but from using feature flags, we can turn on and off as desired just by using Redis CLI. Here I'll start by setting the feature as on. As you can see, Redis CLI set a flag is true for now, and we try to log in as HCP. And once we go to the patient and edit patient, we can open it because the flag was true. And if we choose to make it off with this command, same command, just change it to false. This time if we go to edit patient, it just redirects us back to the same page, which means we just turned the feature off using just one command. And that's the feature flags.
Hello. As you saw in the previous part of the milestone, we have successfully deployed checkbox.io application in AWS EC2 instances. You can see this is the stable version of checkbox, and we also have a canary version of checkbox also running in the EC2 instance. Both checkbox instances are up and running, and you can see that front-end Nginx pages, and we have slightly tweaked the canary version to have a different UI. Now on the Jenkins server on port 3000, we are running an HTTP proxy server. Now this server acts as a load balancer and redirects some of the traffic to the stable version and some traffic to the canary version. So the ratio we have selected is 1 out of every 10 requests on an average go to the canary version. As you can see that when I refresh this page enough times, you can see on an average 10% of the times the canary release instance is getting hit. So now in the next part, I'm going to demonstrate what happens if the canary server goes down. As you know, the canary builds are unstable and users need to be redirected to a stable version. To demonstrate that, I'm going to go to my AWS console and uh, stop the canary release version of checkbox. And if I go ahead now and refresh the page a couple of times, you can see that all of the requests are getting redirected to the stable version of checkbox.